knows nothing, can understand nothing. Plunge deeper into the darkness, and your heart will grow even stronger.
Good tidings, everybody, and welcome to the Ansem Report podcast. This is episode number 51, and it is the episode that is out right after Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind is out. Woo! Holy cow. I am Mike, here as always with my brother, Jason.
Hello, hello.
Jason, we spent last night completing the story portion of Remind.
Yeah.
But we're not going to talk about that right away.
No.
We will talk about it. But this week has been a pretty crazy week in Kingdom Hearts news. I actually was having like a mental breakdown yesterday when I was at my real job of all the nonsense that was going on. But to bring some to bring some calmness to this situation, we're actually going to read an email to start this episode.
Okay.
And this is from our new friend, Miles.
What up, Miles?
Miles says, good tidings, Mike and Jason.
What's poppin'?
I found the Ansem Report podcast on Spotify a few weeks ago while I was trying to find out if there's any Kingdom Hearts music on the service. There's not. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Not our fault. I gave your newest episode at the time a listen, episode 47, and I've been hooked ever since.
Let's go.
I still have a lot of catching up to do, but I wanted to tell you guys how much I enjoy the podcast. As a huge fan of KH, I'm always trying to find new ways to indulge in my favorite video game series. Whether that be listening to the series' fantastic soundtracks, or watching content creators like Cynical, or dare I even say, HMK.
No.
I'm glad to have found the podcast, and I've already spent many hours listening to you two share your love for the series too. Of all the episodes I've listened to thus far, the entirety of the Sleeping Realm theory is my favorite, despite all the mindfuckery involved. I also appreciate the humor and brotherly banter you guys bring to each episode. I hope to get through most, if not all, the episodes by the time Remind comes out, which I look forward to both playing and hearing you guys discuss for the weeks to come. Overall, I really enjoy what you guys do, and I just wanted to express my thoughts as a new fan of the Ansem Report podcast. Keep up the great work, guys. Sincerely, Miles J. Miles J.
Dude,
what a wholesome, great email. It's okay that you like HMK. He's not someone I'd like want to hang out with. But I understand he makes pretty good Kingdom Hearts content, and he's not like, he wasn't one of those guys that was like, I'm going to be done with Kingdom Hearts, and then,
Yeah.
So, I have some respect for HMK.
Yeah. There's respect.
There's respect. When we make pins for merch, we're going to send him a pin, an Ansem Report podcast pin.
Out of respect.
Out of respect. So thank you, Miles J, for that email. Reminder to everybody, you can email us at any point at ansomreportpodcast@gmail.com. And we will read it on air if you want us to, or we will respond if you don't want us to read it on air, or whatever you would like. But we'd love to hear from you on email. So we're in 2020 now, Jason. I don't know if you know that.
We are.
We're in 2020. Okay. We're living our best lives right now. The doomsday clock is actually 100 seconds to midnight right now. They just announced that today, but we are living our best life. And Kingdom Hearts isn't doing so bad as a series right now.
No.
The top 10 best-selling games of 2019, Kingdom Hearts is on the list.
All 10 of them are Kingdom Hearts?
No, just one.
Oh.
However, what spot do you think Kingdom Hearts is in on the top 10 list?
Probably like third. Kingdom Hearts 3, third.
No. It's number 8.
That would have been tight if it was third.
Yeah, it's number 8, which for a game that came out at the beginning of the year, pretty impressive, I think.
Yeah.
It was number 2 for a long time,
behind
Mortal Kombat. But here's the rest of the top 10, just in case anybody's curious. We have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 at number 1. We have NBA 2K20 at number 2. Madden NFL 20 at number 3.
Gamers suck.
This one actually surprised me. Borderlands 3 at number 4.
Okay.
That did better than I thought it did. Mortal Kombat 11 at number 5. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order at number 6.
Wow.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at number 7. Kingdom Hearts 3 at number 8. Tom Clancy's The Division 2 at number 9.
No way.
And what's
That's inflated.
No, it is. You know what's the most insane on this top 10 list? Okay, so Smash Brothers is technically a 2018 game, but it came out in December of 2018.
Okay.
So it's understandable it's on this list.
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8 is number 10 on the list of best-selling games of the year.
That's wild.
Right. This is a remake or like a remaster of a game for the Wii U where they added more stuff and threw it on Switch at the beginning of the Switch launch, and it's still a top 10 selling game in 2019.
Is that like inflated with like I don't know if they count like a sale as like
This is
coming with a console though.
No. This is according to the NPD group, which tracks this stuff, 2019 year top 10 games, physical and full game digital from the Nintendo eShop, PlayStation, Steam, and Xbox platforms for publishers in the digital, and then it trails off. But basically, it's counting digital sales and physical sales. It is not counting Switches with the Mario Kart, I don't think. It is counting just the Mario Kart, but it's not counting the Switch. Like, it's not by dollar. It's by sales.
Right. No. I'm saying like when you buy the Switch and it comes and Mario Kart comes with it, does that count as one sold?
Well, hell yeah.
Okay, yeah. So there is like an inflation of it. That's like saying like Wii Sports Resort, it has like all these crazy sales. It comes with the Wii.
Yeah, Wii Sports Resort is one of the best-selling games of all time.
Right. It comes with the Wii.
Right, but it's one of the best-selling games of all time. Anyway, I just thought it was cool that Kingdom Hearts 3 made that list.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of times people forget that Kingdom Hearts is as popular as it is, and it just gives me good faith that there will be more Kingdom Hearts in the future.
Oh,
Speaking of that, we have an interview from Tetsuya Nomura. We're going fast and furious right now, dude.
There's a
flying
lot
through
to
this
talk
stuff.
about.
There's a lot to talk about. So this Q&A, it was a Twitter Q&A. It was translated. This is the translation I'm using is by Gold Panner.
Thank you, Gold Panner.
Thank you, Gold Panner. KH13. And it does have spoilers for Kingdom Hearts 3, not Remind necessarily, but
If
Kingdom
you
Hearts
haven't
3.
played Kingdom Hearts 3 yet, I don't know what to tell you.
So here,
why are you listening to this podcast?
I'm gonna read through this interview because it's 13 questions, of course.
Yeah.
And
That's on brand.
it has some interesting info in it. So here we go. Question: how does Remind differ from the final mixes released for previous numbered titles? Nomura: we released final mixes to adjust the balance and add things to the entire game. Remind is independent content you can enjoy after beating the main game. That said, we did also add English voices to the Japanese version, limit cut bosses, and other things you'll find familiar from final mixes. So other than the fact that the main game hasn't been changed much, you can basically think of this as the equivalent of a final mix. Question 2. How did you decide what to put in the free update and what to put in Remind? KH3 and Remind are to be thought of as separate content. It is split up like this. The version update is basically for what you bought as KH3, and Remind is for new features outside the main game. But as I just said, the English voices and other features that would have been previously included in a separate package as a final mix have been included in Remind. But then I also included some new content that would normally have been in a final mix, like Keyblades and new abilities in the free update, with the aim of giving you, and I cut the question off, something for after finishing the game. Okay. Question 3. So there won't be a KH3 final mix? What about a physical release of this? There are no concrete plans right now. We might think of something when a new console releases, but I'm not thinking about whether that something will be a final mix. So to me, that says, hey, when PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X come out, they're going to be like, oh, Kingdom Hearts 3.5 remix with Union Cross as a console game and Project Xehanort. When is the new story in Remind set, and what can we expect to see in it? Chronologically, it jumps around a bit, but most of your time as Sora is set between the end of the last battle and the final cutscene, depicting a blank space of Kyrie's rescue. As a player, you view the story from a higher vantage point than Sora, and in Remind, Sora is following the story from a different vantage point to the main game. It's hard to explain, but KH3 concludes with itself, and its ending connects to the ending of Remind. Does it influence or rework anything in the main KH3 game? The story of KH3 itself hasn't changed. You play after finishing KH3, so it doesn't influence anything. But we did update a few places in version 1.07. Things we gave up on at the time due to various circumstances that we wanted to make do justice to our original vision. To give concrete examples, it's stuff like damage taking expressions and cutscenes, and the way the sky looks in the background. So that explains the sky difference that we noticed in Remind that we're not talking about just yet. Why didn't any Final Fantasy characters appear in the main game this time? Why did you add them back in? The story developments of KH3 didn't provide a reason to stop by Radiant Garden, plus work-related issues. They appear in Remind because story developments make them needed and because of the passionate wishes of you fans. So even though they don't have a big role, they now have a sense of presence in the world of KH3.
Some people are going to be disappointed by it, though.
Yeah, for sure. What are the highlights of the Limit Cut bosses? Who do you want us to pay attention to in particular? We decided to use the new Organization 13 for the Limit Cut bosses. I'm sorry, the real Organization 13. Nomura, do you not even know the names of your groups?
That's a little scuffed.
But as the project progressed, we began to feel conflicted over whether or not to leave Shion in there. The development was already underway when I went to discuss it with Yasai, like, maybe we should cut her? Knowing this, I hope you feel just as conflicted when you fight her. She's super strong.
Oh, fuck.
Early on, you said you wanted to add the equivalent of one world. Did that change? Actually, we did start designing and planning a new world, but the reasoning why this world would be added in after being separate didn't sit well with me. In the end, I decided it would be better to work it in properly from the start next time there's a chance. All the new content added with Remind put together makes more than one world's worth of content. In particular, it was a lot of work making this many bosses. Question 9. What can you say about the secret boss in episode? The secrets contain my thoughts about the future of the series, but with the information out at present, I don't think you'll be able to guess any of it. Some parts of the battle ended up very different from what I requested, but it surprised me in a good way, so take it as it is. Question 10. Why did lines from KH1 appear in the final trailer? Those were lines I'd long wanted to put together if I ever got the chance. You may not understand, but the inclusion of those lines is what got the world of Kingdom Hearts approved. There is no mystery to solve this time. They stand at the doorway. What? I mean, I get what he means, but it's just like, what?
Yeah.
11. Are there any plans for future updates or DLC? There are no plans for a hypothetical update as of now, but if issues come up, we will deal with it. Remind is to be the first and only DLC. We are already working on the next title. The title screen of Remind serves as a piece of foundation for it. So Kyrie and Sora holding hands sharing Papu fruit
is the foundation
for what the next title is. Finally, question 12, because question 13 is just a message for the fans that's not important. Will you tell us about any plans for future KH projects? We still need some time with regards to mainline Kingdom Hearts. But first up, the Kingdom Hearts Union Cross team will have a surprising announcement tomorrow. Aside from the KH3 and KH Union Cross teams, we actually have 2 new teams in operation. And from them, one title will be coming surprisingly soon. So, the announcement he's talking about ended up being the Project Xehanort announcement, which we're going to talk about next. And I understood that as one of the 2 teams he was talking about, but no, that's the Union Cross team working on Project Xehanort, based on what he said here. And that there's 2 more teams working on stuff besides the KH3 team and the Union Cross team, and that one of those games will come out very soon. So he wasn't talking about Project Xehanort according to this translation.
What?
So, and we'll talk about Project Xehanort in a minute.
Oh my fucking god.
But the fact
you tell me there's a new Kingdom Hearts game come out in 2020?
Now, that depends on your definition soon. There is a new Kingdom Hearts game coming out in 2020. It's Project Xehanort. But is there another one? That's the question.
Holy fuck. Who's excited to play this mobile game? Where are my Union Crossers at? Yeah!
So, Project Xehanort's very interesting. So what happened is they made an announcement. A new Twitter popped up called Project Xehanort. A new website popped up that has a picture of young Xehanort. And it says, how did he become the Seeker of Darkness? Spring 2020. Okay. Then right below that it says, in-app purchases.
Shut up and take my money.
In-app purchases. So
shut up and take my money.
Now that doesn't necessarily mean it's a gacha game.
Shut up and take my money.
Also, they're doing a contest for what do you think the name is going to be? And 10 people will win a $100 Amazon gift card. And you just have to say what you think the name's going to be and hashtag Kingdom Hearts name contest, I think is what it is. You'll see the hashtag. You'll see my entry. I put Kingdom Hearts : World Tour. Because, Xehanort's on his world tour.
Right.
I think it's going to have to do with a cutscene in Remind that we will talk about momentarily. But it doesn't mean it's a gacha game to me. It could be like a single player style experience where you like buy items, or it could be a turn-based RPG. It could be a chess game. A lot of people saying it's a chess game. I don't think it's a chess game.
It's a Candy Crush game, you fools.
It could be a Candy Crush game where you match different emblems of darkness.
I feel like it should be like Puzzle Quest.
I'd be down for that. I'd play that shit. I'm going to play it regardless because I host a Kingdom Hearts podcast.
It's going to be one of those things where it's like, you can do this mission, but it's going to cost this much energy.
Or
and then
you have to wait 20
wait.
minutes.
You have to wait.
Xehanort's tired unless you have gold bars.
Unless you have darkness.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what that comes.
What's the opposite of Lux? Zool.
Yeah, Zool. So we'll see what comes of that. We'll talk about that more in future episodes too when we get more concrete answers. But it says spring of 2020, which in America that means March, April, May ish, right? That's spring. So that's coming quick if it's coming. And I wouldn't be surprised if this other title he's talking about, we get a nice announcement at E3.
You think so? You think it'll come out like after the summer?
I think it would come out in the fall at that point.
Yeah.
And then get delayed to January.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yep. And at that point, I feel like I'm stuck in a goddamn time loop. And every year a new Kingdom Hearts thing's coming
Every
out.
January.
So I don't know. I'm sick of taking my vacation days in January, guys. But anyway, so we'll see what happens with all that. It's all very interesting stuff. So all this is happening on Wednesday as I'm at work. We're waiting for Remind to drop at midnight to play. It's just all this nonsense. And then people are posting spoilers because like some idiots in New Zealand have the game already. I'm not going to name any names, but they're posting stuff about, oh, look at this boss fight and blah, blah, blah.
Certain New Zealanders.
Certain New Zealanders and
certain Kiwis.
I like had a nervous breakdown almost at work. But anyway, we're doing this episode a little differently because we want to talk about Remind. We originally weren't going to talk about any spoilers at all. However, I had a couple of you reach out to me and say, hey, we want to know what you think. Can you just do a separate
spoiler section?
Spoiler section. So at the end of the show, there's going to be a spoiler section. So that being said, we are going to do the question of the week right now.
Oh my God.
Question of the week.
Oh my God. You can't do that.
That's illegal. I want you guys to make a prediction for Remind, and Jason and I will grade your prediction.
Okay.
First prediction is from Sean's, and it says, Yozora is not the secret boss. We don't fight him at all. Sean's, I'm going to have to give you an F, my guy. That's an F. That's an F.
That's a double F.
That's an F.
That's an F on the keyboard.
This, obviously, this segment, too, I probably should have said this before, there might be some spoilery things based on, like, we kind of have to confirm or deny some of this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that big of a spoiler that Yozora is a secret boss. I think that was pretty obvious. We've been talking about that for weeks. So I'm not that worried about that. But just in case, be ready to mute us if you're that worried about it. Nominee's Best Girl says, another villain gets brought back to life. And Yen Sid is more swole than Leon. I'm going to give that one an F because no one is more swole than Leon. Sean 2.0 says, the Riku looking for Sora stuff is all cutscenes. None of the looking for Sora stuff will be playable. I give him a C on that one.
Yeah, it's like half true, half not.
I think it's half true, half not. Wildcat Diana says, we will learn Luke's sword is connected to Ava and Brain and a Scold reveal in the epilogue secret ending. Now, full disclosure, we haven't actually seen the secret ending yet because we haven't beat the limit cut bosses because we're doing that on stream today and tomorrow. So I guess I don't know that Scold's not in the secret ending.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say a D because I feel like Scold's not in the secret ending. Lingering Aura says, my first one is regarding closure for Zack, but that's only if Cloud and Sephiroth show up in Remind. Even then, I'm doubtful Zack will be brought up again, but I'd love to have some closure for the man. I'm going to give her A because I want Cloud and Sephiroth to Remind, and they weren't. So that's an A. A second prediction would take place before Diana's second one, where it's Lee and Ice discovering Scold's location and heading off to find her. Again, don't think that happens. We'll give you a C on that one. Broondocks as a late. Oh no, this is. Oh, Broondocks has a question of the week for last week.
Okay.
We have a couple of those, and actually, we'll get to them in a minute. So we'll be back, Broondocks. Egglag29 says Jiminy Cricket is revealed to be the Master of Masters. I'm giving you a Z.
I'm giving you a band.
I'm giving you a band hammer. Actually, my favorite part of the Rebind DLC was how little Jiminy Cricket was involved.
He did not have a single line.
He didn't say one thing about in the darkness, the heart's darkness control.
I think the only scene he was in was like the very end.
Yeah. The box says, I have no prediction because all I want from this series won't be in Remind. Because if it were, the game would be rated 18+.
Oh.
I'm going to give you an X for X-rated. Also, in Remind, it is revealed that Streletsy is Sora's mom. That'd be a twist. That's
Dinner's ready.
I'm going to give you an M for M. Night Shyamalan. Good twist. This rating scale's gotten out of control already. Master of Masters Master. My Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind predictions are a playable Xehanort, any Nort, but probably young Xehanort, a playable Mickey, and either Sora or Riku meeting confronting the Master of Masters, a.k.a. my apprentice, LOL. Something I'm not expecting, but love to see, Mirage Arena or something similar. You know, I'm going to give you a B, because I really like our Arena to return.
Oh, yeah.
While it's not correct, I would really enjoy that. So I'm going to give you a B, and then no comment on the other stuff, because I'm trying not to spoil things. Because some of that is right, and some of that is not.
Oh.
Strawberry Mango Baby says some of the 13 boss fights aren't org members, but are secretly other bosses. Yeah. I'm giving you the Greek letter key for that one, because why not? And sorry, they're all organization members. Tyler Rims. Yozora absolutely has to be the secret boss. No way they'd spill the beans on his purpose so soon. He's the lingering will. I'll give you an A on that one. We'll learn more about Luke's sword and maybe his Keyblade legacy or whatever. Maybe get a real name. Yeah. I'll give you a H for hell no. Demix will either get the same treatment or it's just us seeing how Roxas actually got to the fight so fast. Maybe the replica body that Riku left was used for Roxas, while the other one that Demix brought to the Enzo was used for Naminé in the end. I'm going to give you a D for it's Demix time. Playable Lee. Please don't let me down, Papa Nomura. Let me have this. And I'm going to give you a S for Sad Guy Hours. Like I'm just going, just letters. Jip214 says, I think the Luke Sword fight is just the 13 Darknesses and 7 Lights playing poker. Also, I think you're going to play as Riku for most of Remind.
I'm going to give you a J for You've Been Gypped.
You've been gypped. Door to Light says, I thought about it for a couple days, and now I think we're going to discover some sort of dark revelation while exploring Scala Ad Kayam. I feel like something that beautiful must have something dark lurking beneath its surface. I'm going to give you a E.
For maybe.
An E for Ericus is a dumbass. Not related to anything you said. I just hate Ericus. Pandaven says, LOL, the age of fairy tales is what's buried underneath, replying to what Door to Light saying. And that's true. That is what's underneath Scala Ad Kayam. We saw it in the boss fight. But that's Kingdom Hearts 3. That's not a Remind thing.
Right.
Kyrie's bro says, so I'm predicting the secret boss will be a Sed. We will get some Kingdom Hearts Union Cross information. They will throw an Olympus Coliseum maybe, and we will finally find out why Kyrie is acting all weird, not eating / crystal death. Random guesses, really.
Yes and no.
I'm going to give you a...
Why for yesn't?
Yesent.
Yesent.
You yesent. Mr. LeBamp says, my last minute prediction for Remind is that there will be more DLC. Why create KH4 so soon when you already have great graphics and engine to build upon? Keep pumping out big story updates like the Destiny franchise is doing. As much as I love KH, I don't want to have to earn scan and dodge roll again. Destiny. Mr. LeBamp also says, I also appreciate you guys reading all my shitty answers each week. You're welcome. I'm giving you an S for shitty. Master Vodka. Last minute prediction. Very few people are going to use the custom greeting slideshow responsibly. And David Gallagher's voice acting as Riku will continue to sound as though he's doing it against his will.
Yeah.
So Master Vodka is correct. I already saw one where it's Kyrie's very close to the camera and looking horrified, and behind her on Destiny Island, Sora's bent down. And it looks like he's giving Riku a blowy.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't look like he's that impressed though. He's kind of like
Riku looks more shocked, like Kyrie saw him, kind of thing. Like, but they're like out in the middle on the beach. It's like they weren't hiding. They weren't hiding anywhere. I do think the greeting mode is awesome, and I think there's going to be a lot of memes.
Oh yeah,
stemmed from that. I actually made a channel on our Discord just for that. So if you guys want to post your favorite photos that you've taken, please do. Try to keep it safe for work, please.
I mean, what could they possibly do?
I don't know, dude. That blowjob thing, that wasn't safe for work. So I'm giving Master Vodka an NSFW, not safe for work. Aqua Stepbro. What are you doing, Stepbro? Says, short and sweet last minute prediction. We will be left with more questions than answers. And for that prediction, probably the best prediction we have in here, I'm going to give you an N for Nomura.
Yes,
because that's how we always rank. Only Nomura's deal in absolutes. That didn't make any sense.
No.
Anyway, I got a couple last week's question of the week, so I want to read real quick before we take a break.
Yeah.
So Brundock says, as a late entry, I'd like to say that a really underappreciated theme for me is lazy afternoons.
Ooh, yeah.
The music from Roxas' prologue in KH2, which it is then infuriatingly replaced with afternoon streets for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
It's just so calming, and it's a shame you don't really get to hear it more. Whenever I'm feeling really sad or overwhelmed, I just put in the 30-minute version of Lazy Afternoons and take a drive through the woods, and I'm feeling instantly better. Bring it back for a Remind, Nomura. I don't even think we go to Twilight Town and Remind, do we?
No. There might be some part where like there's like a remixed version of it.
Yeah, and we weren't paying attention. That's possible. Mel, the Secret Reports Mel, says, sorry, this is for last week's. You don't have to read it aloud, but I want to say it anyway. Well, we're reading it aloud, Mel. But I think it began with a letter is super underrated. It's so relaxing, and I often had it on repeat when I did homework as a teen.
I know that one. That one.
That's a good one. That or Digital Domination. It has a great drop around 1:55.
Digital Domination?
That's a 3D track. Very good 3D track. And then finally, we did. Yeah, okay. Mr. LeBamp had one, and it said, on top of last week's question, though, I'd love to see an orchestral version of Don't Think Twice, but not from KH, but Bob Dylan's Don't Think Twice. It's all right in Kingdom Hearts. Absolutely mad. And I'm
mad
giving
lad.
you an S for shit on that one, too, Mr. LeBamp.
The absolute mad lad.
All right, so that's the question of the week. We're going to take a quick break. And we don't have, like, a fun ad this week. We're just going to talk about our stream later today. So if you're listening to this before 3 o'clock, or during 3 o'clock, or probably we're going to be streaming for a long time. So starting at 3 o'clock Eastern, Jason and I will be on our Twitch at twitch.tv/SpikeGhetti, Super SpikeGhetti Bros? Super SpikeGhetti Bros,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Twitch.tv/Super SpikeGhetti Bros. We will be streaming Limit Cut boss fights.
Oh, yeah.
And Jason's fought a couple just, as a test ground after we beat the main thing of Remind, and they're rough. He's been doing a lot of grinding today to prepare for this live stream.
Yes.
But I've heard of people level 99 getting absolute shit on by some of them. So we're pretty excited to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And we're talking standard mode. We're not even talking Proud or Crit.
Proud or Crit, yeah.
Because this is the file we used for our Let's Play. So,
right.
Like I said, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/Super SpikeGhetti Bros. We will be streaming for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
So even if it's like 8 o'clock right now, Eastern, where you are, hop on. We'll probably be there. We will also be streaming the next day. We don't have a time for that yet, but it will be sometime in the afternoon till sometime in the evening.
Right.
Also, we will be announcing the winners of the Funko Pop contest on stream. Both the Twitter users and the Discord users. Thank you to everybody who entered that contest. You guys are amazing. But that will be, And don't worry if you can't catch the stream and you want to know if you won. I will be reaching out to everybody who won. But I think it'll be fun to do like a drawing. Jason loses a fight, I draw a new winner. Jason loses a fight, I draw a new winner. I think it'll be pretty fun.
They're going to go like fucking hotcakes, get there at the start of the stream.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. If you want to see yourself win, you better get there quick. But yeah, so please, I hope you will look forward to that. Welcome back, everybody, to the Ansem Report podcast. Jason, let's talk about Remind. This is going to be a non-spoiler discussion of Remind.
Non-spoiler.
And then when we shift into spoilers, we will give you a warning in case you haven't played it yet or you have an Xbox. So,
Goofy dies again. Spoiler. No. So, Jason, overall, what do you think of Remind so far? We haven't, to full disclosure, we beat the Remind portion of it. And then what happens is once you beat the Remind portion, it unlocks the Limit Cut portion. And we haven't beaten the Limit Cut portion. I know there is a tiny bit of story in that, but it's mostly like a secret ending kind of thing once you beat all the 13 and the secret boss, right? Right.
I haven't watched it yet. I don't know anything about it, so we're not going to talk about that. But, Jason, what did you think of Remind, at least the Remind portion of Remind?
Absolutely ballin'. I
had a great time with it.
Absolutely ballin'.
It starts off a little slow. We probably played 15 minutes, and it's just cutscenes.
But it was hype.
And then you fight a couple bosses that you fought before. So it starts off a little slow, but then once you really get into it and it starts getting real crazy. The cutscenes were dope, by the way. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
That part was dope. I meant the gameplay starts off a little slow.
Oh, yeah.
But which was fine because you were a little out of practice, and I think it helped that you were fighting bosses that weren't necessarily super dangerous and that you have fought before.
Yeah. So I could get back into the swing of things.
Right. So I thought first of all, the first 3 cutscenes are kind of just added, like things that you would have thought you'd seen in the base game. Similar to like how a Final Mix would work already. Yeah. You know, like Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix added some cutscenes that explained a little more that people were confused about. Right. And that's kind of what happens with these 2. 2 of them I'll say because they're in the trailer, but it's the Xigbar Luxord talk and the young Xehanort Masters talk.
Right. And to be honest, both of those cutscenes are just like teases anyway. They don't turn into anything.
They don't really turn anything in the game, but they are good teases. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the banter between the characters. Then there's a third cutscene that is pretty exhibition. What's the word I want? Exposition. It's exposition heavy, and it kind of explains more of how how the 13 darknesses that we have here all came to be, like who's a time traveler, who is a nobody vessel, who's a clone, like, you know what I mean? So they explain all that kind of, and it is a little heavy-handed. Yeah, like that cutscene. I think
for like the average player, it would be good.
Yeah,
especially if you haven't played in a while. Like us, we're consuming Cage content and talking about Cage content like every fucking week.
Right.
But I think for somebody who's like, oh, KH3 DLC, dope, and they haven't played,
right?
I think it would be a good recap.
For sure. But to me, it kind of reeked of Ellen Page's character in Inception, where she really just exists to explain like she asks questions that the audience is thinking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she's like, wait, so how come Cobb can sleep when he da-da-da? And then Joseph Gordon-Levitt's like, well, actually. And it's like, that's not how people talk, and it's not good writing, you know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I felt about that a little bit. But anyway, this is a weird what we're talking about. But overall, I loved Remind. I loved the changes they made to certain things.
Yeah.
I loved, it explains a lot of the stuff that people chalked up to like sleeping around theory or just weird video game stuff.
Yeah.
It closes a lot of those holes. It creates more.
Yeah.
As Nomura is prone to do. You get to control a lot of cool characters.
Oh, yeah.
That you don't normally get to control. Some you don't get to control, but I feel like you should have been able to, and I thought that was weird.
Yeah.
There's you know, like in the trailer, there's explorable Scaled Kayam, which I thought was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
And it's more than I thought it was, too.
Overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was, it's about 4 hours.
Yeah.
That part of it. You died once, so it wasn't terribly difficult.
No.
And it makes sense who you died as.
Yeah. True.
You'll have to watch the Let's Play to see that. But yeah, I really enjoyed Remind, and I think I've seen some people be negative on it, and I understand. Because this is hard to talk about without spoilers, but you redo a lot of things in Remind, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are, I'm just playing this part of the game again. And I get that. However, let me paint a scenario for you. The internet doesn't exist. Downloadable content is not a thing. But everything else exists as normal in the world, in this alternate reality. Okay?
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out. A year later or so, Kingdom Hearts 3 Final Mix comes out.
Uh-huh.
You put that disc in your PlayStation, and you have to play through the whole game again with very minor changes.
Yes. Just to get to the end where all the changes are.
Just to get to the part where all the changes are. Instead, what this does is you pay half the money. You're not paying $60. You're paying $30. And they try not to waste your time and and they still end up wasting your time a little bit in certain sections, but so they put this new stuff in, and instead of having to start over, which I love Kingdom Hearts 3, I don't mind replaying Kingdom Hearts 3, but a lot of people's complaints that I saw was, I'm just doing the same thing over again. Yeah, that's what a Final Mix that's what a Final Mix is. That's what it is.
That's literally what it is.
You play through the whole game again, maybe they changed some mechanics so it's better, and then you get to fight the boss of the next game at the end because you unlocked it, and maybe Kurt Ziza or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed other than it's cheaper.
Right.
And I think there's more changes in this than there would be in the typical Final Mix update, don't you?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
More changes for the better?
In KH2 Final Mix, there's maybe a half hour worth of added cutscenes.
Right.
And then you get the bosses. Whereas, in this, it's freaking 2 hours at least of cutscenes.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And
some of them are the same cutscenes, don't get me wrong.
Some of it, yeah.
But I think
a lot of it,
if you would just cut to where everything was different, it would make even less sense.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be like, especially if you haven't played KH3 in a while. I don't have every cutscene memorized from that game.
Right.
So,
because you're watching the cutscene, and a lot of times, Mike and I were sitting there, and we're like, oh, nothing's changed here. But then it does.
Right.
Something does change. The cutscenes will go completely different than what happened in the actual game.
Right, for sure. And so I guess...
Or there'll be a twist or something like that.
I guess I don't understand that complaint. I'm not here to tell people how to feel. I just feel like...
It's a nitpick in my opinion.
If you're nitpicking that and you're nitpicking... that doesn't make any sense. I've seen people say that. This is Kingdom Hearts, guys.
This is the most sense I feel like it's made in a while.
This is Kingdom Hearts, okay?
If you liked Kingdom Hearts 3, but you don't like Remind, I'm sorry. Yeah, that KH3 Vanilla is so much more confusing than KH3 Remind. And KH3 Remind makes KH3 Vanilla make more sense as well.
Right. There's still some unanswered questions, don't get me wrong.
Well, yeah, most
and there's
definitely.
still, it's really time travel warbly, but anything with time travel has that issue. That's not a Kingdom Hearts issue.
Yeah.
Unless they break time, Back to the Future breaks down time travel in the most simplest way, and we know from real science that time travel would not work that way if it were possible.
Yeah.
It would be more messy. It would be more like what Kingdom Hearts does, or what Avengers kind of did. It's messy.
Yeah.
It's not. And so there were times, when I'm playing it or watching you play it, and I go, what is going on right now? I think I said that multiple times. But that's more an exclamation of, I want to understand, and they're going to tell me, and then they do. There was nothing there I left going, I don't get this, other than...
one scene, but then it's explained way later.
That, and not... If I was confused by it, I was already confused about it in KH3, and it just didn't clear it up for me. It wasn't a new problem.
Yeah.
I guess. And again, we haven't seen the secret ending. I've heard the secret ending's pretty bonkers.
Oh boy.
That it's really throwing some people, according to Twitter, it's really throwing some people for a loop. So I'm excited to see that. So I guess we'll have more info on that. But anything else we can really talk about without going into spoiler territory?
Well, we can talk about the free stuff.
Yes, you're right.
Oathkeeper.
Oathkeeper and Oblivion.
Absolutely fucking ballin'.
We haven't played with Oblivion yet because Jason is a clown and hasn't been critical. I will point out, for those of you that are critically challenged, oh, that sounds like a really bad... No, people that don't want to play critical or are not capable of playing critical, you can start a new game file with the new Fast Pass on.
Yeah.
Making everything really fast and easy and still on critical, and then you could still get Oblivion that way. Yeah. So if you're like, oh, I want Oblivion, but there's no way I'm doing a crit run, maybe try it with the Fast Pass and see how you feel.
Yeah.
And,
well, and there's tons of resources on the internet, too, to help you with it.
I know, but some people just don't have time, man.
Yeah, I
can
see that.
The older you get, the less you have time to go, I'm going to play this game on the hardest difficulty and so I can enact the evil boy Keyblades. You know?
Yeah.
But Oathkeeper is OP.
It feels good.
We looked, Ultimate Weapon has one higher stat in strength and magic than it does.
Yeah.
But I feel like the form change is really good.
Oh, yeah. And you get double wield.
Yeah, you get Oathkeeper in the form change.
Oblivion.
God, why do I keep doing that? You get Oblivion in the form change. So I'm assuming they have the same form change.
Yeah.
But that's still really cool.
Oh, yeah.
And the animations for it are so good.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was going to crash the game at one point. It was so good.
Oh, the shot lock? The shot lock is insanely good.
Yeah.
That's like one of the best animations in the game.
For sure. They added some new abilities, which you didn't equip them right away because you didn't have enough AP. I mean, how do you feel about that? I haven't played, so...
Well...
I'm an Xbox gamer, so I haven't gotten to play yet.
It made it so that there's like a faster animation for like if you do a dash and then attack, it makes that animation faster and like less floaty. It feels good.
Okay.
As opposed to like like when you do the skip in Olympus where you do the dash attack dash attack, it's faster.
Oh, okay.
So it feels good.
Okay, cool. And then the greeting mode, the photo greeting mode.
Yeah, that was cool.
We messed around with it a little bit.
We were in the middle of the Let's Play, though.
Yeah.
So it was like we just beat the boss or whatever at the end. We were going to go into the limit cut. So we were like, all right, let's just go to the limit cut.
Right. And then we were messing around with it. I think some of the areas could be a little more like...
Destiny Island was a little
Destiny Island was a little
disappointing.
constrained. I wanted to be able to like... We wanted to recreate the Superman video I was in the back with Vanitas.
Yeah.
But we couldn't get him on the pier. And so we were pretty upset about that.
Yeah. Which it's like weird because it's like... It's like fully rendered. Like...
Yeah, but they didn't set it up as a gameplay environment. I've heard the other areas are a little better with that. It's just Destiny Island wasn't set up as a gameplay area, and that's why. And it's the same reason why you can't use Lee or Shion in their new outfits or Isa, because they didn't make a gameplay render for that. They just have the movie render for it. So that makes sense with Destiny Island. But I think it's really cool. I think people are going to make some absolutely vile, disgusting things.
Really cool things.
Yeah, or really cool things. I'm excited to just like make things and then tell people, hey, this happened in my game. Has this happened to anybody else?
I want to make a bunch of fake leaks.
A bunch of fake leaks. Nomura has given us way too much power with the data greeting. Too much power. But yeah, that's cool. That wasn't part of the free DLC, though. That's just part of Remind.
Oh, that's true.
Right. There's a new photo. There's a slideshow mode. You can like watch or you can
make a movie.
You can make a movie. We haven't touched that at all, so I don't know how that works.
No, and they also increased the cap on your pictures as well.
Yes, there's more pictures. Also, the game looks a lot better.
Yeah,
a lot of the sky boxes look really more. They're more detailed and they have a lot more color. The cutscenes look
crisp.
Like Sora and Riku. One of the first cutscenes they play in the story is the one at the end where Sora decides he's going to go after Kyrie, and they look more like their models from the secret movie than they did before. Like their eyes are much brighter and bigger, and Mickey, you can see his fuzzy, disgusting fur. He looks like he's made out of felt, and all surrounding his head. So, no, I'm really impressed with this DLC overall. I think $30 was a great amount for it. I highly recommend it, and I haven't even finished it.
I'd give it a 9 out of 10. The only point taken off is no Sephiroth.
Yeah, I mean, there's more I would have liked to see that we didn't get, but a lot of it was like wishful thinking stuff. Right?
Yeah.
I
That's the only thing.
I knew it was going to answer a lot of questions about the story going forward.
Oh, no,
you know? And a lot of people are like, well, it's going to reveal Union Cross, and it's going to... Masters teases you a little bit. He looks like he's going to take off his hood at one point, and then he doesn't do it.
Yeah.
That son of a bitch. We'll get you.
Dude, at one point I was like, oh my God, no, it's fucking Demix. Just like how he was acting.
Yeah.
I was like, please, God, no. Not like this.
And you don't know if it is or not. It
Right.
still could be Demix. All right. Anything else we can talk about before we start getting into the spoilers
Like
here?
heavy spoilers.
I don't think so. So, that being said, folks, we're going to give you 10 seconds of silence to get out.
Yeah.
And then after that 10 seconds, Jason is going to blurt the most spoilerific thing he can think of. And so if you haven't shut off the podcast by then, you will hear it. Okay?
Oh my God.
So, the countdown, if you're an Xbox player or and you care about spoilers, or if you just haven't had a chance to play it and you care about spoilers, your 10 seconds starts now.
There's a whole year jump at the end of the fucking DLC.
Oh, you're right. That's the biggest spoiler you wanted there?
Dude, yeah, because
Yeah.
it does like a whole fucking jump. Like 1 year later, fucking Kyrie's pretty much been dead for a year.
Yeah.
She's asleep,
Yeah,
and Sora's been dead for a year.
right.
And Riku's kind of like, well, we can't find him.
Right. So anyway, let's
I feel like he should be more dire.
that was a good call on one of the bigger spoilers. Let's kind of go through this. So it starts with that Xigbar Luju scene. We don't really find out anything of it. It's basically just what we saw in the trailer, where they're both like, who like,
who are you?
Luke
No.
Sword.
Who are you?
Luke Sword knows more than you thought. He lets on to Xigbar, hey, I know that you told me to do this, and that you.
It's not
what the organization wants. It's what you want.
right.
But I'm gonna play along. And then Xigbar ends it with, who are you, Luke Sword? That's the real question. Then we get the Masters and young Xehanort cutscene. And that cutscene, I believe, is just setting up Project Xehanort. I
Yeah.
really believe that's all that was doing. It kind of does like you can tell this is where part of the reason that Xehanort became evil was the Masters kind of manipulated him. It's really devious and really evil Master of Masters. I think they really do a good job of because before he just seems kind of aloof. Like
yeah.
he's more chaotic than anything. You don't know if he knows what's gonna happen or what he wants to happen. He's clearly manipulating young Xehanort to be this guy that does
But to
this
think like
thing.
it's his idea.
Right. And so you're like, okay, he's more than just chaotic. There's an evil plan here. So I really liked that, even though it didn't really have much to do with the story.
Yeah.
Then it cuts to 75 years later, and this is the cutscene I was talking about earlier, where it's very they're explaining a lot to you, and it's
Yeah.
Master Xehanort, 75 years later, old man, Sayax, and Xigbar, and they're basically just talking about the different members of the real organization and how they got to where they be. Vanitas, Ansem, Zenmis, their hearts are all coming to these vessels we have for them, and Marluxia, Larxene, and Luke Sword are reformed nobodies, and but we need another one, so we have number I.
The imaginary number.
Was that explained before that that's Shion's name, and that's why her name is Shion? Is that her number I?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Yeah, number I.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
It's an imaginary number.
Right. I know
She doesn't exist.
It's all
She's
dumb.
Number,
It's all dumb.
instead of number
Um,
14, she's number I.
Yeah. So basically, they explain how they got what they want, and then it cuts to the meat of the DLC, where Sora, after the battle, he decides he's going to go after Kyrie, and we pick up with him then. And Chirithy explains, hey, if you do this, you are going to disappear.
You'll die.
Which we know to be
You'll
true.
lose your power, unable to come back. That's not necessarily like die. You'll leave this world.
Right. So you'll end up in Shibuya
Yeah.
by the 104 building. So,
Yeah.
because it's the world ends with you. So he starts off at the moment they first arrive at the Keyblade Graveyard, and they kind of it is this cool thing where they play the scene, but then Chirithy's talking over it, and you see Ven get bodied, and that's when Sora's soul first jumps up to try and catch him, and Chirithy literally said, "You will not be able to physically help," right? Like Chirithy pretty much says that. And the first thing he does is try to physically help.
Yeah.
And I was like, classic Sora. However, he does end up being able to physically help. So it's pretty strange what they do.
Well, Chirithy's like, I don't know what you're gonna be able to do.
Right. I guess he doesn't say, hey, I know for a fact you won't be able to help. He goes, I don't know what you're gonna be able to do.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it again, but I think that's what happens.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of like, hey, you can do this, but I don't know exactly how much you're gonna be able to do. This might end up not working at all.
right. So it plays out as normal. We get the Zeta flare. Aqua gets bodied, but you can see, Aqua sees a bunch of dark Aquas, and that's why she's so freaked. And then everybody gets taken away, and then
And that scene's really hot.
yeah,
The Dark Aqua scene.
it is pretty hot. It then cuts the whole Lich thing out, which is great.
Yeah.
Don't need to do that again. But we're back after Sora saves everybody, and it's the same rift. But before that, we see Naminé in wherever they are, like the station of...
Yeah, so it's kind of like a hub thing where, like, that's where Sora really is, which is his own station of awakening.
Right.
And he's traversing to the other people's station of waking by... Because, like,
their hearts.
pretty much... There's this blue aura that pops up on somebody's heart whenever Sora is there.
Right.
So, like, normally he resides in himself, and that's why you traverse through and go and do those battles again. And then once he links up with somebody, he traverses from his heart to their heart, and then we'll either, like, unlock something or transverse into somebody else's.
So anyway, he meets Naminé, and she says, hey, I've been trying to link up with Terra, his heart, or his will. And so he goes, cool, go back to the world meets the sky. Go there.
Like, go back to the final world.
Go back, or go to the final world, not go back. Go to the final world. So the reason Naminé's there when we see her in the original game is because Sora told her to be there. But then when you talk to her as Sora, she doesn't say that. So that's a little weird.
Yeah.
Right? So then it cuts back to, like, they're back at the Keyblade Graveyard, and Lingering Will shows up. And we get to see what happens between Terranort and Lingering Will that we didn't get to see.
And it's fucking dope.
There's some sick fucking DBZ battling going on between Terranort and Lingering Will. Like, just the beam, 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 beam.
Oh, yeah.
Beam, beam, beam in the distance, you know?
Right.
Like, they're just lights bouncing into each other.
Right.
And
It's like some Pokemon 2000 bullshit
Yeah.
with Mewtwo and Mew.
Yeah, that's true. It is like that. Most iconic duo of all time, Mewtwo and Mew.
And they're
Yeah. So anyway, Lingering Will is about to get crushed into bits. Okay? The Guardian... Or no, was it Terranort that had... Or was it Guardian? I think it was Guardian's
Guardian
hand.
had his hand and was going to crush it.
the helmet. Which
is Terra.
it's Terra crushing Terra. Being controlled by Terra.
Yes.
Terra's body, possessed by Xehanort, is telling Terra,
His heart.
his heart, to crush Lingering Will, his will. Okay? So then Sora pops out of Lingering Will.
Well, he pops out of the ground.
Yeah, you're right. He pops out of the ground to save Lingering Will because he connected to his heart, and that allowed him to show up in a physical form for some reason. You fight Terranort, and you win the fight, but then you lose, and then it goes to darkness. And then the game just cuts to
Being in the maze.
being in the maze and taking on the fights, and you're like, Huh? So everything plays out as it's supposed to. You help, you go help Riku, but you can play as Riku, which is dope.
Yeah.
But that fight plays out almost 100% the same, except the Endemic shows up for his one cameo to
Yep.
take the vessel
Yep.
and
The
say,
replica.
it's Demic's time. My favorite part of the whole DLC.
It was fucking cringe. I'm sorry.
Jason hates it, but I love it. I think it's great. So then you go to help Mickey, and literally, and this is one of the complaints I saw, you go to help Mickey. You can't play as Mickey. Nothing changes. That fight is exactly the same.
Yeah.
And so it's like that could have been cut, but then it would have been a little
Well, you
confusing.
do get the team up with Mickey, which is kind of
Yeah, they add the team up, which is cool. And that team
Well,
up
you
is
can't play as Mickey like
because he gets bodied, he gets put in the card.
right.
Right. But I that's been people's complaint is that
Mm.
that fight should have been cut. I don't disagree. I think it would have been confusing. And
Well, the idea is that so when you're fighting Lingering Will, you're Sora from the future, right?
Mhm.
And then he gets swallowed by darkness, and so the player, like Sora's actually in darkness right now.
Sora from the future.
from the
Past
future.
Sora is just doing what he's usually
Yeah,
doing.
so you just keep playing through as past Sora, and that's what confused me at first, because when he fights Terra, he goes, "Yeah, you're not the only one who can time travel." So he has all the past knowledge, right? But then when you go and you fight like Zigbar and stuff, Sora says the same stuff over again, like
because
it plays
it's not
through.
future Sora, it's past Sora.
Because you're playing as past
And-
Sora as
I think what made it confusing is that you can select to be as Riku because we're thinking, oh, we're possessing Riku's heart.
no,
But no, that was just a gameplay conceit.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't a like thematic storytelling thing. It was
Right.
You just get to play as Riku. That's cool.
And then you don't come back as future Sora until you defeat the Guardian.
Right.
Because what happens is really Sora dives into Terra's heart, but it's so surrounded in darkness that he feels like he's drowning underwater.
So he doesn't dive into his heart. He gets protected by the Guardian, is what he's saying.
Yeah, by Terra's heart.
Terra protected me. His
Yeah.
heart protected me. But it doesn't make a whole lot of sense unless you're saying Terra has the minimal amount of control and that's all he could do. And then when seeing Ven cry, he finally has the control to be the Guardian. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or you could say that like Sora was there to help strengthen him too.
Possible, but Sora doesn't remember shit, so
Right.
I don't think that's necessarily true. So Mickey fight happens.
Well, he unlocks his heart.
What?
Sora unlocks his heart.
Oh, you mean past Sora?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, but no, he had already went and swooped up Aqua and Ven at that point,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
it ripped off the thing. And so yes, but he didn't. I mean, he was gonna crush himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless the theory is that Lingering
Yeah.
Will's heart or Lingering Will went into him at that point when he got crushed,
Right.
when the armor
That
got
gave him
crushed.
the will.
Right. That's possible. So anyway,
But they don't really show it. You
No.
kind of have to infer it.
the armor just crushes to pieces.
Yeah.
So then they that fight happens. That's fine. You go to the Sea Salt Trio, and there's a different cutscene in the front of that. Actually, there are different cutscenes in the front of both those battles where Vanitas kind of goes into detail and says some shit about how him and Ven are not the same.
Yeah.
He was just lying and waiting in there, waiting.
That like they're not actually the perfect halves.
Right. And a lot of people believe that this is leading to Ven killed Strelitzia, but it was Vanitas inside Ven. A lot of people think that's why they went on that rant, is because they're trying to push that. However,
when he says like I am darkness like 4 times.
right. Well, the thing we didn't talk about already, we missed something already, but
Oh yeah.
when you first start and you go into Ven's heart, there's like a disembodied voice and it says I am darkness, and then you fight a souped up version of Dark Inferno.
Yeah. Who people think is Ephemer's heartless?
Maybe.
Because of the
So
scarf.
I think that whatever's going on there has more to do with that than the other thing, but people really think the Vanitas thing, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to the Sea Salt Trio, there's some more Shion explanation and how Zemnis goes on about how you used to know this person, and they're back for revenge, Axel. And Axel's kind of like, I don't care. Everybody's rooting for me. Blah, 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 you know? But you can see it starts to affect Shion when she hears the name Axel and Roxas.
Mm-hmm.
Then the fight happens as normal, and we get some explanation of how Roxas and Shion came back.
Yeah. They explain it better, and you get some behind the scenes type stuff going on.
Right. Roxas and Sora connect, and then Roxas comes. I still don't understand how Roxas can come flying out of the fucking sky like a fucking Super Saiyan. You know, that doesn't make sense to me. But it gives you a little more explanation as to how Shion and Sora would connect, and then also how Roxas and does this weird thing with the recruitment sigil that I don't really understand why they did it.
Well, because when Xemnas would like find a new person, he would give them
The sigil, right?
Yeah.
But they're like, this is
That
what
changes their name.
originally bonded us, and it's like, well, why isn't Sayax showing his, and why is you know what I mean? Like that bonded all of them. That's not what bonded those three. They all had it.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. That kind of came out of nowhere for me.
Mm.
It's
I
like,
can see that.
and then Rex is like, I just wanted to own it instead of having him own it. And I was just like, oh, okay, I get it. Thematically, you guys are breaking free of his control. I get it. Like, I didn't think that was necessary, but maybe I missed something about it that was cool. I don't know.
I thought it was dope.
So then you control as Roxas, who is the most overpowered character in the game.
But then also, like, Sayax was hard as fucking
Yeah, you
balls.
struggled with it because
Yeah.
they made Sayax harder.
Yeah.
And you fight Xemnas too. Like when Shion joins your team,
Yeah.
Xemnas helps. But also, what was weird is there's a fight with Shion, Roxas, and Axel, right? They fight Xemnas. That's the fight that happens first. And you can do team up moves with him, and Axel goes, hey, let's go get him, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was dope.
It was dope. But Axel has his Keyblade back, even though Xemnas still gets rid of it.
Yeah.
And then when Kyrie gets taken and Sora's going to fight, Axel suddenly fucking hurt again. Like he had just gotten blasted by the lasers, but he had been in another fight. So that was a little wonky. They could have done a better
Yeah.
job fixing that up. Because Shion's like, Axel, you rest. And like, what the fuck? He was just like doing flips in the air and throwing his chakrams and saying, get what's ours, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
so,
time to wake up.
yeah. So that was a little
Yeah.
they could have done that better. They literally could have just added another cutscene of him just getting like blasted by something.
Yeah, as
You know,
Xemnas leaves or
As
something.
Xemnas leaves, he like shits on him or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that would have been. Like he goes to try and save Kyrie.
Well,
even.
it's still a plot hole anyway that he'd get his Keyblade back.
Yeah, I don't really care about the
again
Keyblade.
anyways.
The
Because then
Keyblade,
later he's shooting Kingdom Hearts with it.
right? The only problem I have with the Keyblade is that Xemnas actually says the words, "You lost your Keyblade, and you still want to play as a guardian." You know, they could just remove that line.
Well, and I feel like they changed the animation of it when he breaks it. Because I feel like in Vanilla KH, he literally like breaks and it
Yeah,
kind of like
I
shatters.
remember it shattering.
And then in the second one, in Remind, it kind of just looks like it goes away.
Yeah.
Like as if
Did
as
Xemnas
if
have-
Axel put it away.
Oh yeah, Xemnas had new lines. I was gonna say maybe they couldn't
Yeah.
get Peter St. Paul in there to.
No, he has new lines.
But he has new lines. So, yeah, that's confusing. And I know they got Quentin Flynn in there.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't understand why they didn't change that. That's the one. Like my big complaint about this DLC is that
Yeah.
it's like there's certain things they fixed and then it made other things broken, and they didn't fix the things they broke.
Right.
You know. But that's very rare. It only happens. That's the only time I can think of it really happens.
Yeah.
Anyway, then we move on like we do. Three Dads Fight. Three Dads Fight is fine. Kyrie gets crystallized.
Yep.
And then the scene's still playing out, but Sora's kind of like future Sora's like, oh fuck, I'm running out of time. What do I do? And then Mickey comes to him and is talking to him and says, he crystallized Kyrie as a trump card. Ha ha ha. He didn't really kill her. Ha ha. And you're like, what? And then Mickey doesn't show up again. Like in that, like, how was Mickey able to can talk with him at that point?
Well, because like Mickey's in the middle of stops. Like
Right.
he's being stopped.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Which it's Kingdom Hearts. None of it makes any sense. So then Sora dives into Scarlet Kylum past Sora does with
Before
Donald
he
and Goofy,
gets there, yeah.
so he can find Kyrie. And so you go around Skull Island in a really cool segment where you just kind of explore it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really tough Heartless. And then you collect the 5 crystal pieces of Kyrie.
Yeah.
And one's a dark side.
Yeah.
Then he finds out he needs 2 more pieces.
But then his past stuff comes in, and he's like, I don't have any time.
Right. So then he decides he's going to connect hearts with 2 more people. Riku
And Mickey.
and Mickey.
So,
And so then you get to
what's
do...
really cool, yeah, is they show like what was going on outside of like the Xehanort portal or whatever, like with all the people together, and that part was really fucking cool.
Even though
really
it was
fun.
just like a big like quick time event.
Kinda, yeah.
It was
It
still
was like
cool.
a rock paper scissors.
And there was a
type
lot
thing.
of cool character interaction.
Yeah.
Like Roxas pulls off a move and Ventus goes, "So you're Roxas, huh? You're pretty tough," or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Jesse McCartney's talking to himself in a booth right now. You know? And I think Axel
he
says
sounds
something.
a little bit sadder as he talks to
Yeah.
the other voice.
Yeah. Axel says something and Aqua's like, "Hey, can you
Stop talking.
Oh, you don't have to say it like that.
Yeah.
Like that." And there was some cool you get to see Terra for the first time do something like
Dope.
cool sense BBS, you know?
Right.
Because you kind of forget how cool a character Terra is. You know,
Yeah.
he's like,
Well, he's fucking OP. He literally kills
he's
everybody.
like Sora mixed with Riku, right? He's
Yeah.
a dumbass, but he's also really strong.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, you get to see a lot of cool character interaction stuff. Then everybody kind of gets trapped away, and there's this Mickey section where it's similar to the mini section in KH2, except you're controlling Mickey, and you're doing like the light and the slash. And
Kinda. It's more like, to me, it's like, I'm trying to think of, it's very similar to another game. It's pretty much like in one of those situations where you're at 1 HP and you got to keep pushing forward. But like,
Yeah.
really, you can't die.
right.
But like, it feels like, oh my god.
Yeah, if you
could
die, it just goes, "Stand back up, Mickey," and you tap triangle. Bunch.
Yeah, to get back up.
And Sora helps him at the end of that, like future
Yeah.
Sora. His spirit's there to help him. So what I was confused about with this section is you end up saving everybody, but because future Sora's there, they end up saving everybody.
Yeah.
Like you save Kyrie.
Like, what happens when future Sora is not there? Everybody's fine just standing there.
Right, I'm saying, so this is the weird time travel thing where it's messy, but Sora saves Kyrie, you fight Goatnort
Yeah.
as Kyrie or Sora, you can pick either or, and then that saves everybody, but then everybody lands on the little platform, and then Sora and Kyrie disappear, and they go, "Weren't Sora and Kyrie just here?
Yeah.
That's weird. What happened to them?" And then it goes to the scene where they go to meet Sora down on the Goofy after he beat Xehanort and the Ericus and all that, right?
Yeah.
So then you're like, what the fuck? What's that? And then this is where stuff gets crazy. So the ending starts playing out, the ending movie. But in every scene, there's an added scene of Sora and Kyrie doing something like
Mischievous.
well, first of all, they go to the final world and they we're bringing you with us, Cherothy.
Yeah.
And so then what's the first scene they do?
It's the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Oh, that's right. So the Disney characters get back to their castle, and then Sora and Kyrie are eating ice cream, watching the fireworks.
No, they're not eating ice cream. They're
Oh.
just kind of chilling.
I thought they had ice
And
cream.
Cherothy's dancing.
And Cherothy's dancing. Then there's a scene, the Ericus funeral scene,
Yeah.
and then you see Cherothy doesn't just pop out. Kyrie and Sora push Cherothy out to see Ven,
Yeah.
and they push him out again. Then it's the sea salt ice cream. Yeah, they're all sitting on the tower eating ice cream.
Yep.
And Kyrie and Sora are the rung above them eating ice cream.
Yep.
And then it's Namine's resurrection, and you see Sora unlocking her heart to give Namine her heart back.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, they're in all these scenes, like, together. It's like their last hurrah. They did all these fun things together. And then the scene on the beach,
Plays the same.
almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
I think it lingers on Riku much longer as he steps forward.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. And it's still very clear that no one is looking at that damn tree they're sitting on. They're
Right.
looking at something else. And I think the fact that Riku it lingers on him longer, to me, means they want you to notice that they're not looking at the tree.
Yeah.
And then Sora's talking this time to Kyrie, and she's responding.
And then she cries.
And then she cries, and he vanishes. Just like in the ending of the original game. So then you're like, what the fuck is going on here?
But then it's not over there. They hit you with like a fake like little mini credits, and you're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
So then you're Riku, where you don't control
1
Riku.
year later.
It says 1 year later. No, not yet. No, you're with Riku at the land of departure, and he's talking to Terra,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and Terra's like, "Oh, this is why I called you here," and you don't really understand. I don't really understand what they were
Yeah.
talking about. But then,
It's kind of just be like, hey, you're strong. Good job.
yeah, it's like, well, because originally Terra was like gave him the key. He bequeathed
Yeah.
the old coot bequeathed the keyblade to him. And so he was like, wow, you really did what I asked you to do, da, 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 and so they have a moment because that kind of connects everything for Riku, I guess. That's like
Yeah.
the one last plot line for Riku to connect from his life.
Which is why he's gonna die in the next game.
Yeah, and
Or become
possibly.
really fat. Like Thor.
Like Thor, yeah. I guess that would be the Thor treatment. Lose an eye and become fat.
But then get it back.
Yeah, then get it back. So then he talks to Aqua for a minute, and he goes, "You sure you're gonna be okay with this?" And she says, "I have friends with me this time." So Aqua, Ven, and Terra armor up and go into a portal to the realm of darkness.
Yeah.
Then it hits you with the 1 year later, and you're like, "What?"
What the fuck?
And then it's Riku at Hollow Bastion or Radiant Garden in Merlin's house
Yeah.
with Leon, Aerith,
And the
Yuffie,
boy.
and the boy Sid. And wait a minute, where the fuck was the fairy godmother?
Oh, true. We never seen her.
There was a render for the fairy godmother. We didn't see her ass. Anyway, maybe
We didn't see Merlin either. It's his damn house.
right. So they're Riku's recapping things that happened past year. The Sea Salt trio is trying to look through Roxas's memories. Yep.
And she owns.
Roxas and Shion's memories. Kyrie's in a lab asleep for a year, trying because she thinks her heart holds the key to where Sora is. The Wayfinder trio is in the realm of darkness looking, and Riku's just been looking wherever. And so Sid's on his computer, and great. Whoever does the voice acting for Sid is A+ work.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
it's great Sid. And then that's what the limit cut is. The limit cut is
It's kind of like cooler. Fucking. What the fuck is that game? Recoded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's recoded light, right?
Yeah.
And that's where the data greetings are, and then that's where the limit cut bosses are, and there's 14.
So like the idea is that like using all of the data that they have on Sora, they recreated him in the game.
And then they're gonna use that to find out where he is.
But
and,
but it also creates the data for all the bad guys.
Right.
And you have to fight the bad guys as Sora. That's how you do the
right. And so
Chamber of Remembrance.
Then the idea is, and there's a sick fucking remix of the Cave
Oh,
of Remembrance
yeah.
there. Actually, we didn't say this earlier. The music, there's a ton of remixes of different songs, orchestral and all that, and Yoko knocks out of the park. It's so good.
There was one where we were like, this is a little weird. Oh, the Hollow Bastion one.
But then I ended up liking it.
Yeah.
Then I ended up liking it because
Mike was like, this is the new podcast theme.
yeah,
This is the new
because it has like
podcast theme.
it has horse clops in it, like it's a fucking Christmas song or some shit.
Yeah.
That's why I liked that. So yeah, so we don't know. That's as far as we got. So we don't know what the rest is. We'll talk about that in a later episode, I guess.
Or maybe like a stream highlight.
Yeah.
Depending on if we can beat them all.
I think what I'm gonna do when we stream it, I'm going to, assuming you can beat them, I'm gonna once we're done with the stream, I'm gonna edit it and I'm gonna upload the whole stream, but then I'll cut. Okay, this is Jason versus Zigbar.
Okay.
Hopefully you keep it all in one spot and you don't jump around to a bunch of different
I
guys.
probably will.
Yeah, you fucking. Then I'm not doing it. But yeah, so we're if you haven't joined us on stream yet, twitch.tv/SpikeGhetti Bros, Super SpikeGhetti Bros,
Drop a follow.
twitch.tv/Super SpikeGhetti Bros. Drop a follow. We're really trying to build our Twitch presence, and we've had a great time like streaming Final Fantasy X with you guys, and so now we're doing Kingdom Hearts. So I expect a big turnout.
Yeah.
So if it's Friday or Saturday, and you're done listening to the podcast now because we're about done, go hit us up on Twitch. Come hang out with us.
Yeah. Or if you're watching later in the day, you listen to us on the stream and you listen to us on the podcast.
At the same time. And watch our Let's Play,
Yeah.
which we posted the episode of.
Shout outs to everybody watching that too.
Yeah. So it's an exciting time to be a Kingdom Hearts fan. We got a lot going on. The Ansem Report podcast is going to continue rolling. We will probably do we'll talk about the secret movie another episode for sure, and the limit cut stuff. 'Cause
Yeah.
we haven't done that yet. And then we'll probably do a whole analysis of what exactly happened in Remind. Like what do we know now? What's
Right,
different? What's
right.
changed based on the story for Kingdom Hearts? So whether you liked it, Remind, or you loved it like we did, I think it's still a very exciting time to be a Kingdom Hearts fan, and I'm glad you guys are here listening. And
Oh yeah.
sounds like we got a lot to look forward to. So we hope you will look forward to that. Jason, hit him with it.
May your heart be your guiding key.
Thank you.
Fuck off.